Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I'm in studio with Mr. Lester Freeman. And Mr. Lester, a lot of people may not know this about him. He is a Etch-A-Sketch champion. I saw some videos a little while back, and it just blew me away. And I saw you one day, and I started asking you about the Etch-A-Sketch, which led to you telling me a story which really blew me away.
Yeah.
And I learned that there was a lot more to it than just the Etch-A-Sketch, and I thought it was pretty fascinating. And I said, we need to share this with everyone. So why don't we dive in and let's just start you tell the story.
Okay. All right. Well, basically, I've always enjoyed art and had no idea really what an Etch-A-Sketch was all about. I had seen them before because actually it's been around almost as long as I have. I think it literally was launched back around 1960. But the first one I probably bought in 1988, I actually bought it to take to the hospital, of all things. Our first daughter was born with a heart defect in 1985, and it required 2 surgeries. The first one at 3 weeks, she had tetralogy of Fallot, which is the blue baby syndrome, and it required 2 surgeries. The first was after like 3.5 weeks of birth, and a very interesting story there was the actual procedure was called the Blaylock-Thomas-Taussig procedure. Had no idea then what that really was all about, but heard the name and later on did some research several years later. Literally had a Louisiana contact that you wouldn't believe, but the Thomas in the middle of that was literally a black man born in New Iberia, okay, who was instrumental in creating this procedure, this shunt that helped these babies, which were called the tetralogy babies or blue babies, because they lacked oxygen in their blood, so they would usually be a very weak child. So anyway, he was able to help develop this procedure in the 40s, which was incredible. This procedure was performed at UMC in Jackson, and it basically gave her a healthy 3.5 years for preparing for open heart surgery at 3.5. So I think that's when I bought the first one.
Wow.
Was before the procedure in 1988. Just as a whim to see could I draw something on it while we're waiting, because if you've ever had to live in a hospital for a few days or a week or two, it's a lot of long, every day is about a week long. So
from regular family checkups to sedation dentistry, orthodontics and cosmetic dentistry, experience dental care the way it was meant to be, right around the corner from a name you can trust, Miss Lou Family Dentistry.
Come see us for all your handmade and fine jewelry needs here at 415 Main Street in Natchez, Mississippi. You can also find us on the web at riseandshinestudio.com. Always remember to smile big, shine bright, and enjoy the journey.
After her procedure, what really started it was the surgeon came in, he told us everything was successful, but he had a very kind of a concerned look. And we were all just thrilled that she had made it through it fine, and all of our supporters that was there, we had like 3 or 4 ministers from here that was supporting the family. They all left, but then the surgeon came back and said, well, there's a few things that have gone not the way we wanted, and we're concerned we may have to go back in. And so that was a pretty scary event, but my wife and I said, well, we're just going to depend on our faith. Mm-hmm. And so we literally stole away from our family and went and prayed about it, and basically said, God, whatever your will is, if she's not to survive, then help us, give us strength through this. And we had just walked around the corner, and I mean, literally the surgeon came out. He said, I don't know what happened, but everything's straightened out.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I was stepping about 6 feet tall. I said, well, I can tell you what happened. God just answered an amazing prayer. So It was a miracle. I don't know if that's what gave me the Etch-A-Sketch skill or not, but her recovery after that.
Well, before we jump into the Etch-A-Sketch, let's go back to the part that you were talking about. I found this pretty fascinating. The black man from New Iberia, Louisiana.
Right.
You were telling me off camera that so he wasn't really hired to do what he
it was amazing.
Doing, right?
Yeah. It was incredible. He was the son of a detailed floor laying, carpenter.
Okay.
And after he got married in I think 30s, the late 30s, he literally moved to Nashville and took a job as a janitor. But he just really, according to the documentary, the HBO documentary on that called "Something the Lord Made," a great, great story about this shunt that rescued babies like this. He became just fascinated in the lab for Dr. Blaylock, who was the lead surgeon. He was a pioneer in surgery and was very well known. And anyway, Vivian Thomas was this man's name. He literally would just consume, according to this documentary, all the medical journals about the heart and studied he was self-training because he couldn't afford medical school, but he wanted to be involved in medicine. Dr. Blaylock was so impressed with him that he literally took him with him as a required assistant when he transferred to Johns Hopkins from Vanderbilt.
Unbelievable.
So he was behind the scenes, and that story is just incredible. But he literally, these first procedures were ones that Dr. Taussig, the female, one of the first cardiologists for pediatrics, she was studying this tetralogy of flow problem and said if there was some way that they could get more blood flow to these children's heart, they would survive because they didn't have a long survival without it. And heart surgery was a pioneering then, and it was almost considered, too risky. But Dr. Blaylock said we can do it. And Vivian Thomas, the Louisiana carpenter's son, literally perfected the technique in the lab with dogs, really. He did it. He had to create the defect, and he had such, great skills that he was the lab supervisor.
And this was while his title was a janitor at this point?
His title was a janitor because, he didn't have a degree. He had no medical training.
That's unbelievable.
He was self-taught, and it's the documentary is just amazing.
So what is it again?
Something the Lord Made is the name of the documentary, HBO.
And how did that title come to be? You tell me.
It was a phrase that Dr. Blaylock, literally when he was reaching in to feel the surgical technique that Vivian Thomas had performed for this shunt, he said, this feels like something the Lord made.
Man.
And in our case, it literally flipped because when that surgeon came out after our daughter had her procedure in 1988 at 3.5, he said, I don't know what's going on, but everything is not right. But then after our prayer, God immediately answered that prayer. And when he came out, he said, I don't know what happened. He said, but everything totally went right. The pressure went down, the leakage it stopped. So in my case, God literally perfected what man had done.
I love this story there's so many layers to this story. Whenever you told me, I was like, wow, And what drew me in originally was the Etch-A-Sketch.
Etch-A-Sketch.
This Etch-A-Sketch here is going to get this story out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's funny how that works sometimes.
It is. And I would literally do this. I was doing it to try to entertained my daughter at 3.5. It's
Yeah,
the
let's
first
get started.
tablet.
How did you figure this out?
It's basically the first tablet, and it still is in existence. Santa Claus brought me a new one, literally.
Hey, and look, I checked it out because I thought it might be a
special one.
I thought it might have a crooked one or something, but I shook it and it's legit.
Yeah,
it's a real
it's
deal.
legit.
So,
Yeah. But literally, I took that and said, well, I'm going to try in the long hours of waiting in the room and while she was recovering. And I said, well, I'll try to draw something to basically motivate the medical staff because, you know, in that kind of situation, doctors and nurses become very close to you. And,
yeah.
you know, they've got long hours, and we know that, you know, with what's happening today, just the extreme stress they're under. And little did we know, but this set in stone the career for our daughter. She ended up being a registered nurse.
Wow.
And
Another layer.
And the thing that really came back to me when she was in nursing school, she helped minister to a family that was from here whose child was also born with a heart defect. And here she was able to walk up to them, you know, at 19 years old, 18, 19, and say, you know, you can do this. You know, look at me, I'm doing it. So
the Lord is good.
It gave a lot of hope for them. But
yeah,
I would literally try to draw something every day to motivate the staff and her.
See you guys.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Sabrina Dore.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here. We just wanted to take a moment to recognize our awesome partners who make this show possible. Trinity Medical Center, Miss Lou Family Dentistry, Sabrina Dore Agency, Hampton Inn and Suites Natchez, Hicks Chicks, Go Mart and On the Go Deli, Rollin' in the Dough, Rise and Shine Studio, Concordia Bank and Trust, member FDIC, and Ellard Physical Therapy.
So did you know that you were good at this?
I did. I always enjoyed art. Took classes under a great high school teacher, Rick Anderson, who went on to have quite a successful career as an artist beside teaching. He still does a lot of great paintings and stuff. And so I literally picked it up and just tried to do something.
Did you struggle for a while?
I did.
Did it come pretty...
No,
I just to you?
Well, the thing that got me was I saw this 3.5-year-old in the bed,
yeah,
and going through a difficult time, and so I said, well, you know, if she can go through that at 3.5,
yeah,
I can figure this out. You know, this thing we didn't have internet then, it doesn't have batteries, so it's a great tablet, and literally it's muscle memory with your hands, and so it is amazing. I don't know. Everybody tells me it's quite a gift, and it's easy for me because I guess I've developed that, but I set it down for 30 years.
Oh, my goodness.
When my daughter, this same daughter, gave us 2 great grandchildren, I brought it back out as just a way to have fun with them, to show them some things, you know, and of course their enjoyment is to look at the picture real quick and then shake it. They like to erase it real quick. Okay, do something else. So, but my second daughter is the one, she literally said, well, you know, we need to do something else with this. And so she had me film these and she's created little TikTok videos of this, several that I've done. We'll
put that on the screen for you too.
And literally she adds a little bit of video or audio with it. And I've done several from Mickey Mouse to Peanuts characters and all kind of things.
What are the most challenging pictures for you?
Probably, drawing circles is tough because this thing goes left and right and up and down. So circles really take a little more time to do. So, but yeah, words tend to be a little bit tougher too because it is so intricate the way it draws. But if you've ever had the challenge by a teacher to draw a picture without lifting your pencil or pen, that's basically what an Etch-A-Sketch is. You can't lift it up and go over here.
I've never thought about it like that, but that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to go back over here, you have to go back out the way you came so that it doesn't show a line over there to it.
Oh, man.
So it's very tedious in that part.
So how long does it take? You say, I mean, obviously it's different times, but just your average. Some of the TikTok videos, are we talking hours or?
No, most people think so, but it's about 30 minutes.
Wow.
At 30 minutes or so, usually within 45, I can typically have one drawn. And then time lapse literally brings it down to just, a real short period of time for the drawing. And I don't know, it's a strange gift, I guess.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here, you'll find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
If you like what we're doing here at Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, make sure to like, follow, share on Facebook and Instagram, and visit our website, MissLouChampions.com. It costs you nothing, and it helps us to continue to shine the spotlight on awesome people right here in our community. Well, like I said, it's funny just how it all started, and then how it's kind of come full circle now with your grandchildren and everything,
Right.
being able to share that same talent and joy with them, and now to be able to get it in today's world, to be able to capture that with a time lapse on TikTok.
Right.
So now it'll live forever.
That's right.
And
it's a perfect tablet for anybody who wants to keep a child entertained for a little while. It doesn't require batteries. It doesn't need the internet. It can keep them occupied for a while. So,
one of my whenever I saw you doing this, I'm an event man, so I said, what we should do? We should do an Etch-A-Sketch challenge. We should get all of these people to Natchez. We should send out a challenge. So I'm sending out a challenge. Anybody watching this throughout the world, we got the Etch-A-Sketch champion right here. And if you want to take him on, come to Natchez and we'll make it work.
There's some pretty gifted people out there, but not everyone can do it.
Maybe we can get some of them to Natchez.
That's
for
right.
An
That'd be great.
Convention.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll tie it in with some of the heart stuff.
That's right.
We'll make something work,
Heart Association or something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
They had a walk here every year in the spring. So
yeah, we're gonna put our thinking caps on.
That's
to make
right.
That happen.
Yeah.
So, well, man, I appreciate you coming out and sharing that story with us this morning. That's awesome. I think that people that watch it are going to be really sort of blown away by the story, and I'm glad that everything turned out. It's a happy story.
It is a happy story.
And,
yes.
So thank you very much.
Sure. All right.
And we'll put how to follow him on TikTok.
All right.
And we thank you for watching this. Thanks to all of our sponsors. God bless, and have a champion day.